Now on CoastTV News.
Icy spots and bitter wind chills greeting us out the door this morning, tracking the potential for record-setting cold over the next few days and the threat of a weekend snowstorm.
Cold on the coast, a live look at what neighborhoods are waking up to.
Learning continues despite closures, how teachers are keeping lesson plans moving as many students face another snow day.
Setting the rules of the game, lawmakers to review changes to Delaware's Fairness in Girls Sports Act.
This is CoastTV News Today.
Good morning, I'm Grace Eckerly.
Good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Matt Pensick has the day off. Thank you for joining us for our 5 o'clock hour.
And it's a cold 5 o'clock hour.
I don't even think cold describes it enough. It's freezing.
I went out to my car this morning. My entire water bottle was once frozen.
Yes, mine said 18 degrees outside. Ooh, it's like not even 20.
Elisa,
couldn't even give us
did you bundle
degrees.
up on your way in?
Oh yes, and I turned on my heated seat as quickly as I could. No heated steering wheel though. I know I've mentioned that before. I wish
it must be nice.
I wish, but
this is exactly what Chris predicted, however.
Unfortunately, Chris was correct.
Chris, you're a fantastic meteorologist. We're just not a huge fan of what you're predicting.
Well, thank you, Lisa and Grace. I have a feeling I'm going to have a lot of enemies, though, by the end of the week because of this cold that we're expecting. And yeah, you need it all this morning. Warm beverage, layered clothing. Hopefully you put some ice melt down yesterday, maybe took care of the snow and ice during the day yesterday, because if not, it's going to be a sheet of ice this morning. Winter coats, hats, and yeah, you'll need those sunglasses once that sun rises this morning. As we take a live look in through portions of Ocean City, we are seeing temperatures there right around 20 degrees, and that is very cold there. Winds out of the northwest at about 12 miles an hour. Take a look at these temperatures. We're at 13 in Harrington, 17 in Delmarva. We're at 16 in Milton. Even bitter with the wind chill. Look at this, 6-degree wind chill in Rehoboth, 7-degree wind chill in Bethany Beach, and it feels like 10 in Georgetown with the wind chill. Now we are seeing clear skies across the area. Plenty of sunshine expected through the day today. We are watching this cold front back off to the west, kind of a moisture starred front, but that's just going to reinforce the Arctic air over the area. Could bring a brief snow shower as we go into the evening tonight. Now, temperatures are going to be only in the 20s this afternoon, feeling more like the teens. Plenty of sunshine through the day today, so watch out for those slick spots. And yes, the Arctic air, unfortunately, is not going anywhere anytime soon. So those temperatures are going to slowly be rising through the teens into the early part of your afternoon, and then we'll be in the mid to upper 20s. I think some areas across the eastern shore could graze the 30-degree mark, but more importantly, with the wind chill, it's going to feel more like 17 at around 1 and 18 at around 4 o'clock, and potentially some record-setting cold setting in by the end of the week. We'll talk more about that, plus the threat of potentially some snow over the weekend. I'll have the latest on that here in a few minutes.
Chris, and be sure to download the CoastTV app for your phone and tablet. We've been using it for special coverage of this storm, but all of our news is always on this. In case you didn't know, you can also get the CoastTV streaming app for your TV with devices like Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
And our top story this morning is the snow situation on our side streets in Sussex County.
And to show us what drivers could be dealing with this morning, Emma Aiken is live in Milford. Emma, what are you seeing there now that the snow has frozen over?
Good morning, Grace and Elisa. Elisa, I took your spot in the Jeep today, but what's crazy is I'm going to say a lot of the same things that we reported on yesterday, because take a look outside. I mean, it's the same conditions. It's still icy here in these Milford neighborhoods. We're in the Shawnee Acres community, and we have to take these turns and the whole drive really very slow. This is the type of driving that you're doing. You're gripping the steering wheel with 2 hands, and you're really honestly just hoping for the best. I've been a little bit concerned throughout this drive, so if this is the scene with our tires, just imagine, being out here and walking and trying not to slip on this ice. So it's no joke. It's ice covered on a lot of these side streets and neighborhoods. Switching gears to schools in the Milford School District are closed again today as these conditions continue. The school district saying that it's just icy outside of district facilities. We'll give you another look at the roads here, and we will keep checking back in later as we try to scope out some of these other side streets and neighborhoods here in Milford. But for now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
You must be safe out there, and much like the rest of Delmarva, Wicomico County is covered in ice. Roads that were a slushy mess have now frozen over, and that has led to some difficult driving conditions, especially on side roads that have gotten little to no attention from plows. The good news for drivers, once you get onto the main roads, things look clear.
Especially trying to come around the corners, it's nothing but hydroplaning because your tires are just rolling. I slipped when it had first started snowing. Slid a little bit, but I remain controlled.
And there is no sign of any lingering snow or ice on Route 50 or Route 13.
Happening now, a number of school districts will continue changes due to the snow and extreme cold temperatures. Seaford School District and Woodbridge School District will operate under a snow day. Cape Henlopen School District says their schools are closed, but students will participate in synchronous learning. The Laurel, Milford, and Indian River School Districts say students will participate in asynchronous learning.
And so what is the difference between synchronous learning and asynchronous? Well, synchronous learning requires students to attend scheduled classes and complete assignments together, whereas asynchronous allows students to work at their own pace and complete assignments on their own time.
Colleges across Delmarva are also taking precautions due to the weather. According to the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, all classes will be held virtually. Residence hall move-ins are being delayed until next weekend. Salisbury University is also hosting virtual classes all week, with in-person classes expected to resume on Monday, February 2nd. Delaware State University is announcing students will move to synchronous or asynchronous learning, and all campus events will be canceled for today.
New this morning, a hearing is scheduled for a potential change to Delaware's Fairness in Girls Sports Act. Senate Bill 215 would require schools to designate their athletic teams as either boys or girls. This builds on the act that requires athletes to play for teams that correspond with their biological sex. According to state leaders, the Education Committee will review the proposed changes at a hearing tomorrow at 1 p.m. And you can find more about Senate Bill 215 and the hearing at our article on CoastTV.com.
A tractor trailer carrying propane turned over Monday morning on Route 50. Maryland State Police say the trailer tipped while heading west on Route 50 just before the Route 113 junction. Police say the weather conditions did not appear to contribute to the accident. Only minor injuries to the driver, but the tank did leak.
This just in, Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino is leaving Minneapolis this week, and the number of Customs and Border Patrol agents will be reduced. This is according to two officials.
NBC's Alice Barr shows us how lawmakers are calling for transparent investigation and oversight after another shooting in recent days.
A shifting landscape in Minneapolis this morning, where the outcry over federal agents shooting 37-year-old Alex Preddy to death is prompting the Trump administration to shake up its leadership on the ground and reduce the number of Border Patrol agents there. That's according to an administration official and a law enforcement source. State and local officials have been pressing for a federal agent pullout.
What justifies this disproportionate flood? Nothing legitimate.
The White House confirming Border Czar Tom Homan will now head up operations in Minneapolis, with the controversial Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino moving out, according to two sources, and the administration defending its top Homeland Security leadership.
Secretary Noem still has the utmost confidence and trust of the President of the United States.
DHS Secretary Noem now scheduled to testify on Capitol Hill amid mounting bipartisan frustration. Republican Senator John Curtis saying he disagreed with Noem's, quote, premature DHS response before all the facts were known in the Preddy shooting, weakening confidence, he says. A growing number of GOP lawmakers calling for an independent investigation, as multiple cell phone videos verified and analyzed by NBC News contradict the Trump administration's initial description, suggesting Preddy was a domestic terrorist. Local officials say he was legally carrying his gun. Outside the Minneapolis VA hospital, where Preddy worked as an ICU nurse, a growing memorial and mounting grief from past patients.
He held my hand and he told me things were going to get better.
That now a devout wish for a city in turmoil. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Happening today, discussion and possible vote on changes in Millville. According to the agenda on today's town council meeting, officials will consider and possibly vote on an ordinance to create a voter registration system to municipal elections. A public hearing is set to take place regarding a conditional use application for a proposed 23-lot development. Town documents say these plans call for about 17 townhomes and 6 duplexes. Officials could vote on the application following the hearing. Those town leaders will gather tonight at 7 p.m.
Delmarva Power says its system held up well during the storm, with few outages reported across Delaware and Maryland. The company says years of upgrades and quick work by crews made the difference, but even with the success, Delmarva Power is now asking regulators to raise electric rates. The utility wants nearly $68 million more in base rates and a much higher monthly customer charge. If approved, interim rates could take effect next summer.
And we're just getting started here on this hour of CoastTV News Today.
Coming up, blood donations needed. We'll tell you about a local drive being held today to honor National Blood Donor Month.
Plus, refugee from the cold. Where to go on Delmarva if you are in need of shelter during these freezing conditions.
And strumming ukuleles, how one group of middle schoolers learned how to play music. And first, we're going to check in with First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobuono. He is right there in our weather center. He's had a busy past couple of days. We'll meet with him next.
Good Tuesday morning, Delmarva. We are in the midst of a brutal stretch of cold weather here this week. Stepping out the door this morning in Salisbury, see the roads there doing pretty well. 15 degrees, but on any untreated surfaces, do watch out. Watch your walk to the car this morning. Feeling like 4 degrees in Easton. It feels like 9 in Georgetown. Feeling like 7 in Lewis and Bethany. And the wind chill is really going to be the story here for the next 4 to 5 days. Plenty of clear skies across the area this morning, and it is a bitter start. Temperatures only reaching the upper 20s. Could reach right around 30 degrees across the eastern shore. Plenty of sunshine through the day, but the wind chill is going to make it feel like the teens, and we're going to see those wind chills dip into the sub-zero range as we go into Wednesday morning, and it gets even colder by the end of the week. Plus the latest on a winter storm threat over the weekend. I'll have that here in a few minutes.
Music is all around us, but what if every student had the opportunity to make it themselves? This week, reporter Emma Aiken shows us how one nonprofit is using the sweet sound of that idea to make it a reality.
You're looking at a class of 7th graders learning how to play the ukulele. That sound is made possible by the Freeman Foundation and its Arts Education Initiative, which in this case provides a classroom with a full set of ukuleles and teaching tools for free.
What do you think would be a good solution?
Freeman Arts Education Coordinator Nancy Curry says this is part of an effort to put an instrument in every hands.
It's more accessible for them, and it sort of opens up a whole new world for them.
For this class, Dr. Louise Anderson from Salisbury University joined Mrs. Colgrove's class at Mariner Middle School in Milton to strum a few chords and teach a few songs. Anderson calls this magic.
I get so excited when I see students learning something new and it clicks with them and they're all participating. They were all concentrating so hard for the entire time.
And as Mrs. Colgrove can attest, keeping the attention of a bunch of 7th graders isn't always easy.
Every time Dr. Anderson adds a new chord, they're like, okay, I have to pay attention because I got to learn this new thing. And you could see them going into autopilot with some that we did last time. So every time she added a spin on something, I could see them go, oh shoot, I can't autopilot on this anymore.
It's skills like focusing, listening, remembering that these 7th graders are enhancing, maybe without even knowing.
I think ukulele has been cool because it's fun for me to see students who aren't necessarily interested in everything that we have to offer here find something that they are doing well and that they seem to be enjoying.
And Curry says the ukulele is a relatively easy instrument to learn on.
It's sort of a gateway to guitar or larger string instruments.
From simple strings to powerful lessons, the sound of learning has never been so sweet.
It's always about participation and not perfection.
For the Ties That Bind Us, I'm Emma Aiken.
The time is now 5:18 and we are taking a live look outside at Dover this morning. Chris, I was going to say it's beautiful, warm. Just kidding. Super cold outside. Actually, it might be warmer than a couple days ago at this time. 18 degrees.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
After a while, our bodies start to get used to the cold. So
No,
maybe over
no,
the next few
that's not
days,
true.
you can think that, right? Think warm things here over the next few days because, yeah, we are forecasting some brutal wind chills over the next few nights and mornings. And we are seeing dry conditions out there in Salisbury, 15 degrees. Winds are calm, and you can see the temperatures. We're at 16 in Milton, 14 in Milford, and it is 17 degrees in Willards. But when you factor in the wind, it feels like 6 in Rehoboth. It feels like 4 in Harrington. So bitterly cold air is in place, and you see those cold weather advisories remain in effect through 10 a.m. And I have a feeling these are going to be extended through the end of the week, and they extend through all of the Delmarva Peninsula. Clear skies, you can see the cold Arctic air filtering over the warmer ocean, bringing those cirrus clouds well out in the Atlantic. This cold front is going to bring actually even colder air into the area tonight, which could bring a brief round of maybe a flurry or two through this evening. We are staying well below average. In fact, we may not get above the freezing mark until Monday. Yes, it's going to be a long road here with the cold. 28 for a high in Milford this afternoon, 29 in Millsboro. We'll see a high of 30 in Laurel, 29 in Cambridge, 31 Vienna. Could touch the freezing mark. Some of our more southern communities like Crisfield, Princess Anne, right around 31 in Snow Hill. Plenty of sunshine through the afternoon. Not going to warm us up all that much, but will help to melt some of that snow and ice across the area. And then we're going to refreeze right back up again this evening. And then there's that flurry opportunity this evening as the cold front pushes through. And it's another bitter start to our morning on Wednesday with temperatures back into the teens. The wind chills this afternoon only feeling like 13 in Georgetown by around 3, 16 in Longneck, potentially feeling like -1 in Milton by tomorrow morning, feeling like 0 in Georgetown. And then look at that cold that comes in Thursday, feeling like 7 below Georgetown. So Thursday and Friday morning are going to be the worst of the cold as we go into the weekend, still feeling that brutal cold. As the Arctic high pressure sinks southward, yes, we stay well below freezing into the weekend, unfortunately, and that's going to set the stage for that potential record-setting cold as we go into Thursday and Friday. I think some cold, high temperatures could be in jeopardy, especially by Friday and Saturday, but we stay relatively dry and sunny. Then all eyes on the weekend. Models hinting at a developing coastal low. It's going to be all about the track. It's going to be a fine line between a miss or a hit. So that's going to be the question here over the next few days. Most of the models keep the heaviest moisture offshore, and we get grazed by a few light snow showers and maybe a brief period of light snow, but we will continue to fine-tune the forecast as we go through the week. Right now we are at 29 this afternoon, feeling like 13 to 19 degrees with those gusts anywhere from 25 miles an hour. Tonight we fall to 11. Again, that brief snow shower possible early as that frontal boundary passes through, feeling like 3 below to 0 degrees tonight into tomorrow morning, and then we're at 26 degrees, a mostly sunny day, but again, feeling like 11 to 18 degrees as we go into the afternoon. So despite the sunny skies, we're not really warming up all that much. 23 into Thursday. Again, some cold record highs could be in jeopardy as we go into Friday and Saturday, and then watching that potential for that snow late Saturday night in through Sunday, and then we finally get above the freezing mark as we go into Monday. Grace.
Thank you, Chris. And again, be sure to download the CoastTV app for your phone and your tablet. We'll be using it to cover the storm this weekend, but also all of our news is always on this. In case you didn't know, you can also get CoastTV streaming apps for your TV with devices like Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
And all of this is now going to bring us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know what worries you most with this weather. Let's take a look at our updated results.
Yikes, Elisa. Most people voting for the snow that just won't melt. Almost an even tie between wind chills and black ice. Elisa, where's your vote going?
I think mine's black ice.
That is a little scary, especially
because you can't see it always. So that's my fear.
And it's worse overnight and in the early mornings.
Obviously, the snow pile's not melting is a concern, but in terms of safety, black ice.
I gotcha. Well, if you haven't voted yet, you can still do so at coasttv.com, or you can do so on our mobile app.
And warming centers are open across Delmarva for those in need of refuge from the cold. Gray Street Recovery Community in Talbot County is one of only 2 24-hour warming centers near Easton. Volunteers say they have been there for days in helping those in need, according to Derek Croyer with Gray Street Recovery Community. And local agencies like the EMS and Talbot County Police Department helped by sponsoring the hotel rooms for some people in need.
And up next on Coast TV News today, blood donors needed. Why the Blood Bank of Delmarva says donations right now are crucial. Don't go anywhere. Happening today, the Blood Bank of Delmarva will hold its largest blood drive of the year in Ocean City. The 27th annual Ocean City Blood Drive is taking place today, and it comes at an important time as January is National Blood Donor Month, signifying the time of year when donating is most needed. To donate, you can head to the Roland E. Powell Convention Center today from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., as well as tomorrow. That's from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
The blood bank actually says they are now facing a significant supply crisis following the storm. The weather caused canceled blood drives and closed donation sites. The inventory has dropped by over 200 whole blood and pallet donations. So the blood bank encourages people to donate now if they can. Well, Matt Pensick has once again brought bad luck to a Philly sports team. Here's Matt at last night's Flyers game. If you recall, Matt recently went to a 76ers game versus my Cleveland Cavaliers. Of course, my Cavs won. Our producer, Alyssa, who's a diehard Philly fan, said that she might ban Matt from going to Philly sporting events.
You know what, Lisa? Matt Pensick getting banned from the city of Philadelphia entirely was on my bingo card for 2026.
Okay.
That would happen to him. I just feel like he is the type who would get banned. Philadelphia. Chris, I think you feel the same way.
It's been a rough month for Alyssa and I for our Philly sports teams, and I watched the first period. I woke up to not so good news, and even worse, I'm gonna have to hear Bob because he's an Islanders fan, so I'm sure I'm gonna get a text from him this morning too, rubbing it in. As we take a live look into Ocean City, 20 degrees. Dew point is 5 degrees. Plenty of sunshine through Ocean City, Fenwick Island today. We barely get to the 30-degree mark in Ocean City today, and with the wind chill, it's gonna feel like the teens. So dress warm if you're heading out along the coast this afternoon, because it's gonna be a really nice day as far as the sunshine is concerned. 25 by around noon, 26 in Rehoboth. So a cold day there on Penny Lane as we make our way into Cambridge. Wall-to-wall sunshine. We begin from the teens into the upper 20s, as well as Crisfield just grazing that 30-degree mark as we go into the afternoon. Peter Lynch of Lewis, Delaware, congratulations on winning an umbrella from Coast TV. I'll have details on more bitter cold days ahead in that full 7-day forecast coming up in our next half hour.
Thank you, Chris. After the break on Coast TV News today, Delmarva power rates, why the company is asking for an increase.
Delaware girls sports, when Delawareans can provide comments on a proposed bill.
And icy road conditions, what drivers in Milford are dealing with as they head out on their morning commute. Coast TV News today continues after the break.
Now on Coast TV News.
Cold on the coast, a live look at what neighborhoods are waking up to.
Icy spots and bitter wind chills greeting us out the door this morning, tracking the potential for record-setting cold over the next few days and the threat of a weekend snowstorm.
Learning doesn't stop. Even with classrooms closed, schools are finding ways to keep lessons moving.
Power held through the storm, but we'll tell you why Delmarva Power is seeking a rate hike.
This is Coast TV News Today.
Good morning and happy Monday. I'm Grace Eckerly.
Grace, it is Tuesday, but good morning. It's okay. You know what? Yesterday, a lot of schools had off. Schools have off today.
Maybe it's
with
Monday
the weather.
for a lot of
so
people.
A lot of people are having trouble remembering what day it is, but good morning. I am Elisa Weber. Thank you so much for joining us on this Tuesday morning. Same weather as Monday. Still cold outside.
It does feel like our producer,
Yes.
Alyssa, always says that Tuesday is like a second Monday.
It's
so like
true.
maybe we'll cut a little bit of slack. I think
Yes.
everyone's a little funky with the weather, and
Exactly.
we had a fun snowstorm, and now Chris is saying there might be another snowstorm this
I know.
weekend.
Yes.
We can't even get into that yet.
No, Chris said, you said you might be making a lot of enemies, Chris, with this weather. And you know what? I might have to agree with you.
Good morning, Grace and Elisa. You know what? I used to love weekends like this when, snow events like this when I was a kid, where the snow days would last from Monday, Tuesday, carry over in the weekend. They haven't had school since Friday. maybe something brewing over this weekend. We'll talk about that a little later on. But yes, if you have to be out and about this morning, again, watch for those icy spots. Any untreated surfaces are going to be ice. And yeah, we are dealing with some bitterly cold air out there this morning. Wind chills are in the single digits. Air temperatures are in the teens at this hour. We're holding at 15 in Salisbury. We are just bone dry and cold across the area. 16 in Long Neck. We're at 14 in Milford, 12 in Harrington. When you factor in the wind, it feels like 4 in Harrington, 10 in Georgetown. So we are seeing plenty of clear skies out there today, awaiting a cold front. Believe it or not, we have more Arctic air that's going to be coming back into the area, just kind of reinforcing the Arctic air across the area as we go into tonight. So wind chills are going to hold in the teens. Can't rule out a spotty flurry this evening. We stay bitter and very cold through the end of the week. We barely get above the freezing mark. In fact, we could be threatening some record cold highs as we go into Friday and Saturday. We barely get to the 30-degree mark this afternoon with wind chills in the teens. We'll talk about some sub-zero wind chills over the next few days ahead in that full 7-day forecast.
And be sure to download the CoastTV app for your phone and tablet. In case you didn't know, you can also get the CoastTV streaming app for your TV with devices like Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Our top story this half hour is the snow situation on our side streets in Sussex County.
And to show us what drivers could be dealing with this morning, Emma Aiken is live in Milford. Emma, what are you seeing there now as that snow has started to freeze over?
Good morning, Grace and Elisa. It's really just a grab bag of, you don't know what you're going to get here on the side streets. Some are completely cleared and some are completely icy. So take a look outside. This one is a bit okay, but still you can see these clear kind of slush patches that are really just frozen ice onto the street. It's all very deceiving because, again, it's clear. It's kind of this black ice. Especially if you're out walking, you might think it's an okay place to put your foot and then you might fall, slip. So this is okay here, but some of the other neighborhoods we've seen were really tough to drive on, especially on those turns. You're going very slow, just kind of hoping for the best. You know, we were out on Route 1 and it definitely was better over there on the main highways. Not too much of a concern over there, but again, just a very different scene around in the neighborhoods here, and you really just don't know what you're gonna get even within a neighborhood from street to street. So switching gears over to the schools with all these conditions going on, we do have the schools closed today, at least here in the Milford School District, several others across Delmarva with kids starting those asynchronous activities, at least here in Milford. The school district saying it's icy near the district buildings. So we will keep scoping out these roads here in Milford and kind of collecting some data to see where's icy, where's not. But overall, I would say it's still a pretty serious concern here on the side streets. Back to you guys.
Well, stay safe, Emma, out there. Snow plows in Virginia are keeping busy with the heavy snow we had this past weekend. This snowplow in Alexandria, Virginia was just fine until it wasn't. After clearing the snow, the truck was unable to get any traction on the icy roads, almost like Emma showed in Milford. And you can see there it's spilling its wheels and the truck is just not moving. While the snow was pushed aside, icy conditions remain on many of the side roads in the neighborhoods.
And icy roads got in the way of the response to a house fire in Tennessee on Monday. Neighbors reported seeing smoke pouring out of a home. When fire and rescue crews arrived, they found heavy smoke and fire coming from the back of the house. Officials say the icy roads delayed their response.
Happening now, a number of school districts will continue changes due to the snow and extremely cold temperatures. Seaford School District and Woodbridge School District will operate under a snow day. Cape Henlopen School District says their schools are closed, but students will participate in synchronous learning. The Laurel, Milford, and Indian River School Districts say students will participate in asynchronous learning.
And the difference between synchronous and asynchronous learning is synchronous learning. Well, that is when learners require students to attend scheduled classes and complete assignments together, whereas asynchronous allows students to work at their own pace and complete assignments on their own time.
This just in. A hearing is scheduled for a potential change to Delaware's Fairness in Girls Sports Act. Senate Bill 215 would require schools to designate their athletic teams as either boys or girls. This builds on the act that requires athletes to play for teams that correspond to their biological sex. According to state leaders, the Education Committee will review the proposed changes at a hearing tomorrow at 1 p.m.
Happening tonight, discussion and possible vote on changes in Millville. According to the agenda for today's town council meeting, officials will consider and possibly vote on an ordinance to create a voter registration system to municipal elections. A public hearing is set to take place regarding a conditional use application for a proposed 23-lot development. Town documents say plans call for 17 townhomes and 6 duplexes. Officials could vote on the application following that hearing. Town leaders will gather tonight at 7 o'clock.
Delmarva Power says its systems held up well during the winter storm, with very few outages reported across Delaware and Maryland. The company says years of upgrades and quick work by crews made that difference, but even with the success, Delmarva Power is now asking regulators to raise electric rates. The utility wants nearly $68 million more in base rates and a higher monthly customer charge. If approved, interim rates could take effect next summer.
The Trump administration is pulling Greg Bovino out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and putting border czar Tom Homan in.
Reed Binion now showing us how this comes amid growing calls for a new approach to the federal immigration crackdown in Minnesota.
He's sending in his top guard, and really it's escalating because we just want to be left alone.
City and state leaders in Minnesota, as well as residents in Minneapolis, reacting to news the Trump administration is changing its immigration enforcement leadership in the city.
Good riddance. Couldn't have came sooner.
This amid growing outcry after federal agents shot and killed protester Alex Preddy on Saturday. President Donald Trump signaling new willingness to work with Democratic state officials. Trump said Minnesota Governor Tim Walz called him, saying, quote, "It was a very good call and we actually seem to be on a similar wavelength." Walz described the call as productive and said the president agreed to look into reducing the number of federal agents in Minnesota. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey said he also spoke with Trump and told the president his main request is that the immigration crackdown in the city be brought to an end. Meanwhile, some who witnessed Preddy's killing are sharing more details about what they saw.
I mean, the thing that stood out to me was that he was calm. There was no way that he was the one escalating this.
Amid ongoing protests and the growing memorials to Preddy, there was also a heartening moment of kindness as some Minnesota National Guard members handed out donuts and coffee to protesters.
I think that's true Minnesota energy. This is all about community.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
And we have a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, eagles working together, how these birds preserve their nests for years.
And warming centers open where you can find comfort during these extremely low temperatures. Stay with us on CoastTV News Today.
Good Tuesday morning, Delmarva. Hope you're keeping warm out there as we take a live look into Dover. Those main roads doing pretty good. It's those back streets and those sidewalks that you have to keep a very close, take your time on this morning. We're at 16 right now in Dover. It feels like 5 degrees in Dover, 6 in Easton, 6 in Salisbury, and it feels like 7 in Bethany Beach. Clear skies across the area, and we're going to stay really sunny and dry today, but very cold. Temperatures are going to be rising from the teens into the mid to upper 20s. Can't rule out a brief flurry or snow shower this evening as a frontal boundary pushes through, reinforcing the cold air through the area. You can get your latest forecast by calling our First Alert weather phone. I'll have your latest 7-day forecast here in minutes.
How special is this? Monday, the Delaware Botanic Gardens. Check this out. 2 eagles working together to repair their nest. The pair carefully added sticks and reinforced their home, a hopeful sign of an upcoming mating season. They say bald eagles often mate for life and return to the same nest year after year, growing it larger every time.
And coming up tonight on DSN, your game of the night at 7:30, Stellar fights 70. Then you can catch Outdoors Delmarva at 11:30.
Time for your entertainment news now. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
You have to be grateful for all of it.
Stephen Colbert says he's grateful for a lot of things, including an upcoming honor from the Writers Guild of America. The late-night host is to receive the Guild's Walter Bernstein Award, given to a member who has demonstrated with creativity, grace, and bravery a willingness to confront social injustice in the face of adversity. CBS canceled Colbert's award-winning show shortly after the host criticized parent company Paramount Global's settlement with President Trump.
Oh my gosh.
One battle after another, co-star Chase Infinity is headed to the small screen. Her show, The Testaments, a spin-off series from The Handmaid's Tale, is set to debut April 8th on Hulu. Ann Dowd returns as Aunt Lydia, running a preparatory school for future wives in Gilead.
Ja nie wierzyłem, że ten negatyw istnieje.
To są właściwie jedyne zdjęcia wykonane w getcie warszawskim podczas powstania, które nie zostały zrobione przez Niemców.
33 Photos from the Ghetto is a rare look at one of World War II's darkest moments, the brutal Nazi response to the 1943 Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. A Polish firefighter took the photos, which his son found 80 years later. The documentary is now streaming on HBO Max. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
If you're having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up right now for free at coasttv.com/signup and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday.
You need that hot coffee, hot cocoa this morning. Temperatures, are in the teens, wind chills single digits, tracking even colder days ahead. Full forecast is up next.
And the time's now 5:48 a.m. Chris, as we're taking a live look out into Salisbury. Chris, I think you're not making a lot of friends given the forecast this week. I'll be your friend, obviously. Elisa and I both will. But it's chilly. It's chilly.
Yeah, thank you, Grace and Elisa, for being my friend. But yes, we're going to see plenty of sunshine here over the next few days. That's what's going to be a little deceiving. Is we're going to be pretty dry through the at least through Saturday, but very cold, and we're going to get even colder here as we push through the week. We're at 20 degrees right now in Ocean City, dew point 5, so the atmosphere very dry. We're at 17 in Georgetown, 12 in Harrington, and we are holding at 16 in Long Neck. But when you factor in the wind, it feels like 6 in Lewis, 4 in Harrington, and it feels like 8 in Salisbury. That's why those cold weather advisories remain in effect through 10 a.m. for all of Delaware and the northern midshore, through portions of Dorchester, Wycomico, Worcester. This runs through 10 o'clock this morning. Well, we have plenty of clear skies across the peninsula. You can see that cold air filtering over the warmer ocean, creating those high cirrus clouds well out in the Atlantic. Here's the cold front. You can see not much moisture associated with this front. Can't rule out a brief flurry through the evening time frame. Average high is 45. We are well below that through the next 6 days. We don't get above the freezing mark until Monday. Wall-to-wall sunshine for the day today. We get up to 29 in Georgetown, 29 Snow Hill, 31 in Ocean City. And there's that flurry opportunity as we go into the evening. Don't be surprised if you see a few flakes in the air as that cold front pushes through the area. Not going to amount to much. And then it's another bitter start to our day on Wednesday with temperatures back in the teens. Wind chills throughout the afternoon, feeling like 13 in Georgetown, 15 in Millsboro, feeling like 0 by Wednesday morning in Lewis, -1 in Ellendale. And then there is that the core of that cold coming over the area on Thursday, feeling like 6 below in Millsboro, 7 below in Lewis, and then still feeling well below 0 as we go into Friday morning. So this is going to be repetitive mornings and evenings of brutal cold as this Arctic high sinks southward across much of the eastern half of the country. This cold's going all the way down to the Gulf Coast as we go into the end of the week. So avoid prolonged exposure to cold. Dress in multiple layers if you have to be out in the cold. Again, cover any exposed skin. Know the signs of hypothermia. Never heat your home with your stove or a gas igniter there. And drink plenty of warm beverages and always protect your pets. We're going to stay sunny and dry Wednesday through Friday. Again, that brutal cold air. Thursday and Friday and even Saturday, we have the opportunity to break some record cold highs. Watching the coast into the weekend, Saturday through Sunday, models hinting at a coastal low developing. Some of the models hitting at a pretty potent coastal low, but how close does it get to the coast? Most of the models keep the system 2 hours south at this point, but there is going to be shifting in the models here over the next few days, but we will be a close eye on that forecast here over the next few days at least. The models get a good handle on this system 3 to 4 days out. 29 this afternoon, sunny and cold. That brief snow shower opportunity as we go into the evening. Feeling like 3 below as we go into Wednesday morning. Again, only feeling like the teens tomorrow afternoon despite those sunny skies. We're down to only a high of 20 on Friday. I think Friday and Saturday we have a really good chance of breaking some record cold highs and then watching that opportunity for snow Saturday in through Sunday. Groundhog Day, we welcome in that and welcome in the month of February, and then we finally get above the freezing mark there into Monday. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. Several warming centers across Delmarva remain open as dangerously cold temperatures continue. According to the Wicomico Health Department, shelter is available at the Wicomico Civic Center today from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. In Dorchester County, people can head to a temporary shelter at 200 Washington Street in Cambridge. In Talbot County, the Talbot Interfaith Shelter is open from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Other options include the Easton Library and Grace Street Recovery Wellness Center.
In Caroline County, the snow may have stopped, but the impact is still being felt, especially with icy conditions hanging around on side streets and back roads. Some people are taking advantage of the time inside, being productive while they're snowed into their homes.
We hunker down and do things at home. We get the house clean, taxes need to be done. You know, there's various things around the house that need to be done. So no time like the present, spring cleaning is here. It's January, time to get it done.
And due to weather conditions, Caroline County government offices will open at 10 a.m. today. Goodwill is doing more than just good. The largest thrift store chain in the world says it exceeded $7 billion in revenue last year. That's not only a record-setting high, it's also a 7% hike from 2024. Analysts say the uncertain economy, slow job growth, and rise in costs have more people shopping at Goodwill stores in order to save money.
The new assigned seating policy for Southwest Airlines goes into effect for flights starting now. Travelers can pick their seats in advance for an extra charge on flights. Purchase options include the ability to select seats with extra legroom. It's a big change for the airline, which used to let passengers choose any open seat once they boarded, and the airline started booking tickets under the new policy in July for flights beginning today.
And the time's now 5:53 a.m. Elisa, It is time to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
And today's coastal pet of the day is a familiar face here on Coast TV News today. This is Benny. As you can see, he enjoyed the snow day. As always, Benny was submitted to us by Tammy in Seaford.
Thank you, Tammy and Benny. We hope you had a very nice time snowed in. We want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. You can send us photos. Tell us what makes them so special. If you take a look at your screen now,
you can scan that QR code at the top of your screen to submit your furry friend to Coast TV News, then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all of the pets we feature. So we have another cold day on Delmarva, a good day for hot chocolates. Hot coffee,
nice.
Hot chocolate, hot tea. Think just any warm beverage.
Introducing Chris.
There,
we know you're busy, Chris. You're busy. Got places to be.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the cold has really got my mind all flustered, but we have temperatures in the teens this morning. Wind chills are in the single digits. Plenty of sunshine through the day today, but it's not really going to warm us up all that much. We get to right around the upper 20s with those winds out of the west-southwest gusting to near 25 miles an hour. Brutal cold really hangs on through the week. We have highs only in the low 20s. In fact, by Friday, we may struggle to get out of the teens, watching for a chance of some snow over the weekend.
Driving dangers, we'll show you a look at slippery neighborhoods here in Milford.